What's going on, family? Listen, I'm excited about another episode of Unscripted. I want you to get ready. This is your boy, Derek L. McRae, coming to you. We're going to talk today about some interesting topics. We're going to make sure we enrich you. We're going to entertain you. We're going to empower you. So get everybody you know, call them and tell them jump in real quick because we're getting ready to turn this thing up. It's going to be unscripted. What's going on, good people? Listen, we're back for another episode of Unscripted. I'm so excited to be here with you today. We're officially in my mind season.
Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
In my mind, I want you to
Listen, it was the night before Christmas. This is my favorite time of the year, y'all, for real. Do y'all hear the Temptations? This is my jam. Y'all know how it is. Especially when he get to that high note and start singing. Man, it ain't nothing like candles being lit, hot coffee. Oh my God, some good chocolate chip with nuts kind of cookies going on. Christmas trees lit. Families anticipating. Yep, it's Christmas time. To eat. All right, enough of that. Listen. It really is the most wonderful time of the year, and I'm excited to be with you today because, as you can see, I have the holiday season already ready for me. So I'm really looking forward to it. My kids are ready for it. My son is coming home for college as well. My daughter that gave me a laundry list of things that she wants to have take place. All I want for Christmas is for my Dallas Cowboys to keep winning through the month of December and take us on over to January. That's all I need, Santa. It's a small order. We're looking kind of good this year, and I just need you to keep that favor going for us. But check it out, y'all. We got a lot to talk about, a little time to talk about it. And today I want to dive into this new thing that we have. It's talking about New Year's, New Me. New Year. I said New Year's with an S. Yeah, that's country. New Year, New Me. Talking about really us making resolutions. Okay, so I remember me and my homeboys. I got two homeboys that's real close to me, and they always would do something. Every year they would come up with this time of making these promises and pledges of what they were going to do for the following year. And every year around December, right around Christmas time, when we were all hanging out, they would begin to make promises. It's like, man, I'm going to work on doing this. I'm going to do that. And one of the most alarming things is I used to try to do that, but it never worked out for me. I've never been one that's been good at making New Year's resolutions. Not that I didn't try, I just never, ever completed the task. Something always came up, something took my attention, something literally grabbed my time, and I was never able to accomplish. And today I want to talk to see kind of how do you handle New Year's resolutions? Let's jump into our topic today because the numbers are out now. The numbers officially say February the 1st is the deadline date now for people to accomplish their resolutions, meaning that people usually fall off come February the 1st. Now, this is amazing because we found that they did this poll of about 2,000 people, and they looked and see how well do they actually carry through with doing New Year's resolutions. Now, what makes this real interesting is the date used to be February the 14th. So it used to be Valentine's Day. But it seems that as we're getting older, as America is still expanding, people are spending less time in verbal promises, and they're actually finding themselves doing a lot of other different things. And so the question becomes, what is it about New Year's resolutions that really speaks to you? Why do you do New Year's resolutions? I believe that people put too much emphasis on January 1, first of all. That's my opinion. I think that we do too much about January 1. We make January 1 like this, the beginning of life for us all over again. Yet you're still living on December the 29th. You're still living on December the 30th. And I guess I'm just that kind of person of why do I prolong things versus just being the best person today? But since we're talking about resolutions, let's dive into why I think that people really struggle with resolutions. First thing is this: I'm convinced that we quit so easily with resolutions because we're not really convinced about the need for our desire. The need for our desire, meaning that we recognize that we need to do something, but we're not convinced that it's really a necessity for us. Because there's some things that you want to do and some things that you really need to do. And a lot of us use our resolutions for moments of things that we want to do versus things that we need to do. And because of our lack of commitment and our lack of conviction concerning us doing these necessary things for changes and modifications, we really don't have no power behind it. We don't have no power behind it. We don't gather friends to be with us, to help keep us accountable. Because a lot of us make pledges, and this is what I discovered. A lot of us make pledges for about 4 reasons. The first reason that I find that a lot of us make pledges is because we really want to fit in. Our New Year's resolutions is all about associations. It's about being inclusive, being included. Everybody else is doing something new, so I want to do something new. And so we make resolutions. We make these promises. We make these declarations that we're going to do something, most times so we have something to talk about to other people. The second reason why I think that people really make these resolutions is because they also want to appease people. It's like such a thirst to make people happy, make people feel like you have a sense of worth because you're venturing off to something new. The third thing that I found is really deafening to me is the fact that some of us do it because we're trying to develop some self-confidence. We're trying to figure out something to make ourselves feel good. We didn't feel good about a lot of things about us the previous year. And so we take this day, this January 1st day, to really try to instill some self-confidence within ourselves. And then the fourth thing that I found is because of the lack of understanding of really who we are. A lot of us make resolutions and we make these pledges at the top of the year, and we make things that don't really fit with who we really are or the passion for what we really desire. And because we're making pledges, we're making promises, but we don't have passion behind them, we find that we don't really find ourselves being successful in it because it's not really a desire for us. And a lot of us need to be honest with ourselves. We don't really have some of the desires that we set out to do. We do some things because they're morally right. We do some things because our friends are doing them. We do some things because society or the trends are telling us these are directions to go in. But it does not necessarily mean it's our desire, it's our passion. For years, I spent so much time doing things because other folks were doing things. Spent so much time making promises and pledges and trying to venture out into different spaces that were not comfortable to me. But I did them because of the fact that it seemed to be the polished thing that everybody else was doing, only to find myself more frustrated and also with the waste of time. And the truth is, some of us are walking towards January 1, not wanting to make a pledge and a promise because we know that that's not a real passion place. And we know that it's probably going to just be a place that's going to suck up some of the time that we really could be effective in some other things that we want to do. And so how do we handle these situations? The first thing I say is that we got to really become convinced in what's needed in our lives. As we're evaluating this new upcoming year, 2022, as we're evaluating the things we want to accomplish, as we're evaluating the steps that are necessary for us to climb this ladder of success, to have holistic life and have healthy families, we really got to decide on what is really important to me. Because when things are really important to us, we then start making necessary adjustments for the things that are important to us. Yeah, excuses are usually there because importance has not really sunk in. Because we really have not discovered that we really are committed to something, that we really are dedicated to something, that we really have a drive about something. Because I find that we have no problem as a people making changes, even sometimes sharp changes. We have no problem making those changes when we see the results to be detrimental to us, meaning that we don't have a problem making these new pledges and promises after we've left the doctor's office and the doctor told us, if you don't change this and that and the other about your health, we see your pathway to death. We don't have a problem taking pills when we understand that this is the only way that we're going to be able to have a long lifespan. Yeah, but when we see that the consequences sometimes are not detrimental to us, or it doesn't really profit us at the level that we feel convinced that is necessary for now, we find that we kind of venture off from those plans of our lives that really help bring us to change. And so my encouragement to us is that maybe we need to spend some time right now writing out a plan, because a lot of us make these resolutions, but we don't make a plan to match our resolutions. We don't write anything down. We don't strategize how we're going to do it. We don't even give ourselves small gains. And this is something that I've been really working with in my personal life. I've really been working with having small victories, because my small victories will then compile to become my championship. A lot of us are having resolutions that are championships, but we don't have any benchmarks to show us that we're actually doing it right, that we qualify for it, that it actually feels good to accomplish it. And so my encouragement to all of us is, let's really start charting things out. Like, where's your pad and paper? I know that we're walking, and it's time now with our iPads and our iPhones. And for those that are unfortunate, you still walking with Googles, and you got your little your Androids. Those are not of God. But for those of us that have these smart devices, like how smart are we being with our device? Are we writing down things? Are we strategizing plans? Now with the application world, there's so much that can help you become prosperous and successful in the goals that you set. You're able to do some things that you couldn't do in the past. You have these reminders all over the place that will help us be reminded that, hey, you haven't quite done what you say you're going to do in order to reach where you say you're trying to get ready to go. And this is a season we really got to challenge ourselves, really develop a pulse of discipline for ourselves, to know that we deserve better, that it's available for us, and also understand that life ain't handing nothing out for free to us. And so we got to really position ourselves to be successful. That's what I want to say again. Let's make sure we're positioning ourselves to be successful. Let's become confident in who we are. Make sure that who we are is not the problem. Make sure that what we're capable of doing is not the problem. But really begin to soul search. Understand the value that rests on the inside of us, and the qualities that we have to give to and to render to this world. But you can't get things out of you if you don't strategize how you're going to release them. And so as we're talking about New Year's resolutions and talking about new things that we're going to do, talking about how we're reimagining ourselves. That's a good word for you to put to your vocabulary this year. Reimagining yourselves. Not so much that you're changing out who you are or you're trying to convince yourself of something different, but maybe you just went through some storms and some seasons this year that helped you to reimagine yourselves, and now you can see yourself doing better. Matter of fact, sometimes you go through bumps and bruises, and when you go through your bumps and bruises, it's a hard pill to swallow. But when you understand that what you went through did not break you, it gives you an opportunity to reimagine how you could be better. And maybe what you're going to do as you're talking about your New Year's resolution, you're going to begin to talk about some of your previous year results that you saw, some wins, some victories, some climaxes, some mountains that you crossed last year that really helps you to be effective in what's going to take place in the following year. And so I believe that we really got to become settled in ourselves. Sometimes the world is pushing us so much to do so much so often that we really don't have an opportunity to settle ourselves down, to strategize our lives, to give ourselves some realistic expectations as we start walking into it. Because truth is, a lot of us give up on our New Year's resolutions because we did not invest in ourselves enough to be able to accomplish what we spoke about ourselves. Now, that's a big point to say. I got to say that again. We didn't invest in ourselves enough to really be able to fulfill what we said about ourselves. And so sometimes your resolution should be, I'm going to do a better job investing in me. I'm going to do a better job in working in me. I'm going to do a better job in functioning in me. Sometimes that new place needs to be that I'm really going to work hard on myself to really define some situations and work some things out for my good, because you believe in who you're going to be. And I really want you to get to that place. I need you to get a self-help book that starts to invest in you. Sometimes it's good to turn off those TV screens. It's good sometimes to get away from some of those routines that you had that are wasting your time. And that's one of my pledges and my promises for myself this year. I don't call it a resolution. I just call it a commitment. This year, I'm going to make sure that I am minimizing things that come to take my time. Time is valuable. Time is important. Time is necessary as I build and go forward. And so I want to challenge you this year as you're thinking about the things you're going to do. Let's not live for the people. Let's not live for society. Let's not live for the culture. Let's not live for the validations of somebody else. Let's begin really to be comfortable in ourselves, mindful of our skill sets, relevant in our need for who God has created us to be, And then let's walk out and be successful, because it's in all of us to be successful. The question is, what's our investment looking like? How interested are we into investing into being better people? Like what relationships have we made in the previous year that's going to validate us for the following year? And if you haven't made good investments in relationships, maybe that's the plan moving forward. So I'm saying to you, let's maybe lessen what it is of our expectations until we have equipped ourselves and surrounded ourselves with tools that allow us to be successful. Because my year resolution is I'm going to be successful in every aspect of my life. It's something simple, it's something common, it's something achievable to be successful in every aspect of my life. And my success is not defined by yours. How you're successful has nothing to do with my success. My success is all about me putting my own benchmarks in place and then accomplishing my benchmarks. I'm learning to gather the lower fruit first before I start trying to reach to the top of the trees to accomplish. And a lot of us have very lofty goals. We have very high achievements. We got some strong things that we want to accomplish. But pace yourself and then find yourself a circle that gives you permission to be at a pace. Find yourself people who aren't trying to force you into places of failure. They're not trying to force you into things that they know that you don't qualify to do yet. But they're actually saying, yo, take your time, do your thing, and then giving you support. Because as we're making these resolutions, the truth is we're going to have some failed moments, even in our resolutions. But you got to work on not being so discouraged so quickly. Just because you fell off the horse don't mean you can't get back on the saddle. It does not mean just, as a matter of fact, sometimes you fall off motorcycles, but every biker that I've known has told me they've fallen at least one time. Every true biker has fallen at least one time on a motorcycle, but it was not the conclusion of their journey. They got back up and got back on that motorcycle, and they rode the bike until they perfected their mistakes. As you're working this year to do things for these New Year's resolutions, as you're working to re-identify yourself, you're rebranding some characters about yourself, man, you're going to have some slip-ups, some falls, some mistakes, some shortcomings. But I need you to make sure you got people around you that don't pacify you in your process, but people that are around you that give you permission to be human, permission to have some slip-ups, some falls. And they're not so condemning to you as much as they're concerned about you, as much as they help speak back into you, give you words of positivity. Because if we're going to see ourselves past February the 1st, past February the 14th, past March, we got to find people and situations that give us permission and give us open opportunity to see ourselves doing it over again and learning from our mistakes. And so we are able to do our resolutions. We're able to bring this positive thing to pass. But your surroundings is going to be very important. Your circle is something that you need to start today by investing in. Yeah, let's invest in our circle. Let's find people who have the character skills and the traits, also the qualifications to literally begin to be able to help us achieve the goals that we have. So your surroundings is going to be very important for your outcomes this year. Your surroundings are going to be extremely important to your outcomes. So matter of fact, expand your circles this year. Find people who maybe not your homies, maybe not your loved ones that you hang with. They may not even be family members, but they got something to offer to this new you that you're imagining yourself becoming. And then stick to it. Stick with them. Hold to them. Take their criticism and take also their accolades. Take the good things that they say about you. Not only just the good things, but sometimes you need to hear the other side, because it's all about going through this process and not quitting. It's all about not giving up. It's all about not throwing in the towel, because you are capable of being exactly what you saw for yourself. And so I want to make sure that we are all understanding that we don't have to wait until everything is wrong. We don't have to wait till everything is falling apart. We don't have to wait till everything is a failure. Make sure that you're making decisions to advance forward, even though you may not see bad consequences if you don't make these decisions. Make decisions to advance forward. You owe it to yourself. You've been through a lot in this previous year, through the COVID virus that is still taking place, through all of the misfunctions that have happened in society. Some of us have lost loved ones. And so since you're still living, let's reimagine what life could be like. Why? Because I just believe that what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. What's ahead of you is greater. You can't even do anything about what's behind you anymore. That's over with. That's said. That's done. But you can do everything about what's ahead of you. And so the mentality becomes, how am I seeing myself? What do I know that I have currently today that I can use to be successful? I want to see you successful in every aspect of your life. I want to see you prosperous in every aspect of your life. But you got to want to see it more than I want to see it. You got to make sure that you don't need a cheerleader to help push you down the field. But you got to know that your skill set, your circles, your involvement is all strong enough to get you to the positions that God has for you. Because the truth is, every last one of us, and I don't know what your faith is, but every last one of us have a calling upon our lives. There's a mandate for us. There is a situation that is waiting for us to solve. There is better for us. There is increase for us. There's abundance for us. But you got to reimagine yourself. Matter of fact, the truth is, since you know that you still have life in your body, it's an indication that God still got to work for your life. Since you got life in your body, yeah, that means that He has work for your life. And so I want you to set goals this year. But let's not just set empty goals. Let's set goals with also assistance. Goals with assistance. That's right. That business plan, that marketing plan. Get yourself your own personal advisory committee. Your own personal advisory committee, people that can look into your life, that you allow to be honest with you and thorough with you about their associations and also the things that they've seen in your life. Give them permission to be who they are and find people who are committed to your success, committed to your success, committed to your gain, committed to your advancement. If you do these things, man, you're not quitting in February. You're not quitting in March. But you're going to see all of your goals come to pass. And so as we prepare ourselves to move forward, I want you to all be understanding of this, that whatever you set your mind to, you can have it. No matter what it is, the only thing that stops you is you. But it's your job, it's your responsibility to gather every single resource that is necessary to reach the places of your convictions, the places that you believe so strongly about who you are, what you're qualified to do, and what you're going to see happen. Have a determination in your belly this year that I'm going to be successful. I'm going to bring things to pass. Stuff is going to happen for me. My 2021 will not be repeated in my 2022. Have stuff that you say. Post up stickers all across your rooms and in your cars that remind you of your goals that you have. Remind yourself of why you felt the conviction to do the things that you're doing. You set out to do the things that you felt was necessary. Remind yourself constantly, and then create that circle of influence that helps you be the best that you can be, even when you feel like not being your best, because it's in you. I got to say that again. It's in you. But now it's time for you to get it out of you. It's time for the world to know what you've already become convinced of about yourself. And so that's what we talk about today. We're talking about simply new year, new me. I am reimagining me. I'm going to be bigger, better, stronger, badder. I'm reimagining me. I'm going to be smarter, wiser, richer. I'm reimagining me. I'm going to have more businesses, money. My goals are higher. I'm reimagining me. I'm starting with my low fruit, and I'm going to pick all the way up to the top of this tree, because what God got for me, is just for me. And so I want to challenge you as you're going forth this year. Let's run to 2022 with such spirit of enthusiasm, not because it's a new day, but because you got a new mindset. And that's what it's all about. The Bible says that, hey, as a man thinketh, so is he. So what you thinking about yourself? Am I thinking that I'm going to be great? Am I thinking that I'm going to be successful? Yeah, I could think that way because I know my investments. And so as we're preparing ourselves, my call to action for us is this. Let's do some soul searching this week. Soul searching. We got a few more days left before that great January 1st. Let's do some soul searching for us. I want you to find out what's really needed for your life, because somebody else's New Year's resolution might not be your New Year's resolution. Do some soul searching. Find out what is the plan that is for your life, what fits best for your community, what fits best for your circle. The second thing that we got to do is we got to spend more time in learning about our passion. Don't just talk about you got a goal, but you don't study your goal. I want you to really carve out some time, study the goal, find out what the goal is, find out other people who've done your goal, find out what their struggles were, what their successes were, what their strengths were, what their weaknesses were. Find out those things because you're really believing in what's going to take place for you. And then lastly, let's find somebody to be our accountability partners. Let's find somebody else who we give permission to be honest with us. Because a lot of us don't reach our goals because we don't want people that's going to be honest with us. We want people that's going to agree with us. And I'm not talking about the abusers or the haters. Man, by this time of your life, hopefully you're old enough to be able to discern who is a hater and who is a supporter. Because you don't want haters in your season, you want supporters in your season. And sometimes if you're too sensitive, supporters can look like haters because of the fact that you're just not really ready to obtain the information that they have, which is an honest evaluation about you. So again, let's make sure that we do some soul searching this week. Let's also make sure that we spend more time learning our passion. And then last but not least, find those accountability partners. All right. And if we do those things, success will be our portion. Matter of fact, all this year, I am living my best life. Smile. Smile. I'm living my best life all year long. So y'all know how we do it also. I want to highlight somebody today. This young lady is living her best life. She's smart. She's witty. If you live in the Central Florida area, we call her the Olivia Pope of Central Florida. That's right. We're talking about Jasmine Burney Clark. I had to put that last name in there, put some respect on that last name. Jasmine Burney Clark doing some extraordinary things for our community. Literally a game changer. She is the founder of an organization called Equal Grounds, and she is literally changing out some stuff. She's opening up some tremendous doors. She's bringing awareness to our communities. She's highlighting a lot of things. Her voters' efforts that she's doing is unmatched. She is a phenomenal young lady. She went to Bethune-Cookman University early in her life, and then the Lord gave her understanding, and then she went over to Florida A&M University as well to get her higher level degrees. And so we are super excited about Jasmine. She's married to my friend, my boy, Dominic Clark. She's also an AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and her husband is a Kappa there as well. But there's some great people. It's a power move. They're doing some great things in our community. If you get a chance, I want you to go check out Jasmine Burney Clark. I say follow her on her social media handles, follow her on her pages that she has for her company, because if it's something that our community needs to know, Jasmine's going to make sure you get to know that information. She's a great person. Tell her when you talk to her that I told you to say, "What up, Jazz?" Because she's somebody to keep your eyes on. That's Jasmine Burney Clark. All right, so let me deal with my don't cancel me moment, okay? I want y'all to tune in, hear me out. I think that we keep failing our kids by talking to them and teaching them to obtain the bag, obtain success any way possible, be known to everybody else, be popular on our social media handles. Because our kids are literally walking into platforms and positions that are almost unreal, but didn't nobody tell them about it. So here they are doing things at any cost to obtain a position called success, only to find that when they get there, they have this other thing called regret and loneliness. Y'all, if you love your kids, please make sure that they're more than just an attractive face, more than just some type of money grab. Teach them that they can make it even without a man or even without a woman. Teach them that they can be successful, because it's not about all the things around them. It's about what's in between those ears. It's about the mentality, the mindset. Teach them to be successful in their minds. Teach them that they are equipped, that they can accomplish anything they put their minds to, and they don't have to sell out. Because I don't want to see us turn another one of our girls into a prostitute, nor another one of our guys into a pimp. I want to make sure that we are literally raising up our kids to understand that if nobody else signs off on you, and if you don't become a millionaire, man, you still got your junk together. So y'all help me help this culture. Let's make sure we train our children up in the way that they should go. Yep, you're better than an appearance. You're much more than a like on social media. You're much greater than a few dollars that somebody gave to you. You're smart enough to make your own dollars. You're good enough to look in your own mirror and say, "I'm attractive." You don't need anybody else to sign off on you. You are your own signage. Don't cancel me. But parents, we got to do better, because y'all failing these kids left and right. All right, I really do love y'all. I'm sorry. Today is the end of this new year. We're getting ready for the next year. It's going to be a great time for us, and I'm really, 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 really excited. Until next time, please share this with somebody else. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a loved one. Check out Unscripted, because he is saying almost anything that comes to his mind. All right, so I'll holler at y'all later on. But in the close of my broadcast, I just want to end it like I started. Doom, 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 doom. Silent night, holy night. Sound like Al Green. All is gone. All is bright. Round young virgin. Y'all know, I ain't gonna tell you, I used to say like brown young virgins. I ain't know what I was saying. But hey, good deal. Merry Christmas to all of you from the Temptations. Peace out, Unscripted.